Hello, Cinti.
Hi, Chanel.
Are you ready to talk about some more movies?
Ugh, I guess I have to be, right?
Period. No option.
Yeah, no choice. I'm being held against my will. She may not be here, but she's
Yes.
holding me against my will.
Yes, there is a gun.
There
An
is a gun.
assassin.
My cat actually is holding it right
sniper.
now.
Yeah. I trained him well.
Yep, you sure did. But anyway,
Mm-mm.
what movies are we going to talk about in this episode, Chanel?
We are going to talk about Nosferatu
Yep.
and Humanist Vampire.
Yep.
Seeking.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Consenting suicidal person.
Right.
I think.
Yes.
I'm looking up the IMDb.
See, the thing is, us talking about this movie, which I understand, we only refer to it as a humanist vampire because the title itself is so long.
Yes.
So in my
It's
brain,
so long.
I only realized when I was watching it that the title was longer. I think you mentioned it to me once. I will give you that.
Yeah.
That you gave me the full title, and I was like, that sounds like a jumble of words. But after that, it's been solely humanist vampire. That in my brain, it's been humanist vampire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Humanist vampire.
Woo.
Yeah.
Wow. So,
Yes.
I think we should start with Nosferatu.
Period.
Yeah. So, would you like to give the general synopsis of Nosferatu, or would you like me to give this general synopsis?
I'm gonna have you do it because I kind of low key forgot.
So here's the thing. I also forgot, but we'll give it a shot. So here's the thing. I don't remember
piece it together.
Characters' names, but I remember actors' names. If that helps.
Okay.
So,
I have IMDb open.
Okay. Perfect. So Nosferatu, the thing about Nosferatu is it is a folk tale, I guess you could say. Like your generic Dracula-esque type story. So it's a story that people have heard before, and then personally for me, Nosferatu is a name that I've heard of before, but not through the folktale, but through SpongeBob. And
the walls will ooze green slime.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait. They always do that.
Yep. And like, oh, Nosferatu, right?
And then it's him.
And then it's him. The lights. And I'm assuming that's from the original. So this is a remake of the original movie. And it kind of follows the story of, it's like a twisted love story between, I think it's Count Olaf, who is played by Orlok, thank you, which is played by one of the Skarsgård brothers.
Bill Skarsgård.
Thank you. And hey, I'm remembering as many details as I can. Things go in one ear and out the other. I'm just going to fill them in. Yes. I'm just going to fill them in.
Thank you.
Period. So the general thing is it's a love story between Count, what's his name again? Orlok. And then Lily Rose Depp's character, who she played Ellen, right?
I didn't know her name was Ellen. That's basic.
I didn't know it was either. So ultimately, the story follows the two of them. Ellen has has like an ill-fated story where she always it seems like she always has some ill fortune, but she finally got a stroke of luck when she married Nicholas Holt's character and was ultimately happy. But a part of her always felt as though that something was going to be off. Nicholas Holt's character was supposed to go on a journey to get Thomas. Is his name?
Yes.
Thomas was supposed to go on a job to Count Orlok's home to get a signature. And ultimately he gets trapped. And so his main motive throughout the rest of the film is to try to get back to his wife. Because he ultimately knows that Count Orlok has some fascination and want for his wife. And ultimately Ellen is going through like a sort of psychosis because Count Orlok is ultimately infiltrating her dreams and saying that I'm coming for you. And that is what drives the entire film. You have a lot of series of unfortunate events that surround that. But it is, again, an ill-fated love affair where you can think of it as a threesome type of thing. A three-way love affair between Nicholas and Ellen, Ellen and Orlok. Thank you. That's the word. Not threesome. Triangle. Honestly, with the films that we've been talking about, me throwing out threesome is actually not that crazy. It's not that crazy, but yes, it's a love triangle, and so that's generally it. It's a love triangle with the focus of vampires.
Yes.
So
indubitably.
Yeah. That's the best I'm gonna give you.
Yeah. You got the key points.
Thank you. I
That's
thought
all
I
that
did.
matters.
I thought I did.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you begin with what is one of the scenes, or I guess a point of the film that you enjoyed, Chanel, or want to talk about? You don't necessarily have to enjoy it.
Yes. So I enjoyed the part, like the cinematography, the way it looked
Yes.
when a homeboy, where he stayed at them people's house, and then when he wakes up, they're all gone after seeing the vision, right?
Yes.
So then he goes and he's like trying to make it to the castle, and there's just like it's dark, black and white almost, and then like a chariot comes, and it's just like, get in, ho, we're going shopping. And he was like, I guess I'm getting in.
Yep.
And I was like, girl, you get in that,
He
your
should have
life
turned
is
around.
over.
He should have gone home.
He should have ran, but I think at that point it was already too late.
Right.
He already fell into the
trap. Yeah.
the plan. But yeah, I thought that was very beautiful, and I was like, okay, what are we getting into here?
Right.
Let's see. So
So
I thought that was a good introduction.
I'm actually glad you brought that introduction up, because I do have a question about the introduction. What was happening with those villagers? Like, what did he walk into? Were they trying to exorcise Count Orlok?
Yeah. So what I think that was so I'm pretty sure back in the day, way when, they used to believe that in real life, they used to believe that dead people would turn into vampires, and so they would go and like stab corpses,
Okay,
to make sure that they wouldn't come back to life and turn into vampires and like kill people.
I see.
So I think it was a play on that.
Okay,
But I think it's the villagers. They all know who Count Orlok is.
Yes.
And they're like, bro, don't go there.
Right.
Don't go there. And so I think he stumbled on like a ritual type thing. Okay. Where they're like, it's kind of like a ritual, but it's like actually real.
Okay.
So they're like trying to prevent vampires. So I think I could see Count Orlok turning other people into vampires, maybe. Yes. I don't know. And maybe that was one of them that they caught and killed. Or it's just like, you know, some kind of ritual for good fortune. Because they also had like the random lady who I'm assuming is a virgin. And they were going to do something with her. I don't know. I kind of sort of remember the details. So I think it was kind of that vibe though.
Okay. Because yeah, that part, and that was something that was introduced and that wasn't really brought back up.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Yeah.
I think a scene that I thought was that actually was terrifying for me. Like this, I would say overall, I was very scared to watch Nosferatu because I thought it was going to be a scary movie, right? Because I don't do really well with horror. And Nosferatu, which I believe should have been more scary horror thriller, did not give that. But there was one scene that I do believe gave that, where I literally was like in my seat, internally speaking to myself, because obviously I'm in a theater, being like, move faster, move faster, move faster. Like the sun is setting, move faster, move faster. When he found Count Orlok in his coffin, and he was going to stab him through the heart, and he was like, as the sun was setting, I was like, dude, come on. Like I knew, he might not have been aware, but I knew that as soon as the sun had set, it was over for him, right?
It was over.
And I was like, move faster. Like, why are you going so, like, he was moving because he was afraid he was going to wake him up, right? Which I can understand if you think you're dealing with a normal, regular person. But I feel like at this point, he was trapped in the house for a couple of days. He could not leave. He only could see this man at night. I'm like, you should have been able to put 2 and 2 together, Thomas. Like, you should have been able to put 2 and 2 together. But anyway, as he was trying to go and like stake him in the heart, I think Orlok woke up, and I don't know if he grabbed it or he did something and stopped it. And then he just like kind of rose out of the coffin and started chasing him, and the dog started coming. I was like, it's over for you. You're dead. I'm actually surprised that Orlok didn't kill him. But at that moment, I literally was like, my heart was beating and the anticipation was high. I was like, dude, you gotta run, and you need to run faster.
Run.
And then him trying to close that door, I'm like, that's gonna do nothing. He's gonna get out.
Girl, he was trying. He was trying. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. How did he end up getting out? He jumped right into the water?
He fell.
Okay.
Because he was on the side.
Oh, right. The dogs are coming after him.
Yes. And then I think he just fell into the water, or he jumped. I don't remember, actually. But He went into the water.
And to think that could have, if he did that in the beginning, that's how he could have escaped.
Yeah, but jumping into the water from a castle, you
Yeah,
gotta be pushed to the edge.
that's true. Don't push me, cause I am close
Cause
to
I'm
the
close
edge.
to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly. But yeah, that would be my scene. That's, at least for me, that was the
Okay.
only point where I felt like fear and anticipation.
Run,
Yeah.
baby, run. Yeah. So the next one for me is when Count Orlok was on Mr. Thomas, eating his blood, sucking his blood. That was
When did that happen?
strangely intimate. You don't remember this?
No.
So it was in that sequence where he was trapped in the castle,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I don't remember what happened before. I feel like this movie is trying to escape my brain with every ounce of its power. But I just remember the scene of Nosferatu on top of him, like perched on top of him. They're on the ground, and he's like sucking blood from like his chest area.
Oh goodness.
And it was gross because it was like, think of like a tick.
Yeah.
But like a really large tick.
Yeah.
And it was like you could hear him breathing, and he was like,
I think I took that out of my brain because it was too traumatic. Maybe
it was disgusting.
No, I don't like disgusting things. I probably forgot it on purpose.
Yeah, you probably let that go. You probably closed your eyes and said, nope.
Yeah,
that's not
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my scene. Watching him. It looked like it was good though. It looked tasty.
Chanel. Stop.
I know he was grubbing. I know it.
He probably was. But anyway, another scene that I enjoyed. So this is when, like, I felt like the scenes when Thomas wasn't there and Ellen was kind of going through her, she was having seizures, like her like episodes. Yeah. That sequence was something because Aaron Taylor Johnson's character was a hoot and a holler, given the fact that he didn't understand what was going on. But the scene that I actually enjoyed was when Thomas actually came back, right? And he had the plan. He was like, Count Orlok is coming for you. Like, he wants you. And like, we're gonna get you safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go and kill him, right? And she was begging him not to go. She was like, I feel like I'm better now that you're here. And then she immediately was possessed by Orlok and she started ripping this man a new one. And then that to me was I don't know why I thought that was funny. But he was just like, Orlok came back and was like, oh, there's nothing that you can do. You suck. Or like, oh, she was like, he's a better lover than you. I've had so much better. You're terrible. You suck. All that stuff. And I was like, dang, this guy is so jealous, right? I'm out here being like, Orlok, you are more powerful. You are bigger. You are stronger. But you're that insecure that you have to go and possess her and be like, oh, your sex game is weak. Like, you know? You see what I mean?
Yes.
Like, that just seems so ridiculous. Like, relax. Like, we know you're going to win. Like, you've overpowered him more than once. You've outsmarted him more than once. There was no necessity to possess her and then have your own little hissy fit through her. Relax. Just give it time. You're gonna win. You always win. So yeah, that scene was funny. Yes, ma'am. And then the end of that scene where they start banging it out. Oh, did they end up banging it out? The two of them? They ended up banging it out. Yes, because she was, calling him out and all that crap and whatever. And she was basically like, "Prove it to me." And he said, "Okay." Yeah. And they started going to town. Yep. And I was like, "You two are made for each other." Because what? They match each other's freak. They match each other's freaks. Yeah. Down. Yes. So yeah, that was hilarious. And then what would be another scene? I would say the one where she is possessed on the bed, and then the two men are having a conversation, and they're like, "What are we gonna do with her?" Da, 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 whatever. And then she's on the bed, and she's like,
come to me. Come to me. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
That crap was so... And they looked over like,
Huh?
Is she... What is going on? And she's like, come to me.
Yeah.
That crap was hilarious.
See, and this is
I
my
laughed
thing.
out loud.
Nosferatu was not supposed to be a comedy, was it?
It's not supposed to be a comedy. I don't think so.
So why was it so funny?
It was hilarious. That crap was funny.
Yeah.
It says it's a horror film.
It's a horror film.
Yeah, that's what it says.
They need to have a horror comedy section and put it next to the scary movie like trilogy or whatever.
Yeah, if they would have just camped it up just a little bit more, they could have made this.
Yeah, they could have.
Movie parodies to come back.
Yeah,
and please,
yes.
They could go to town.
They could. Oh goodness. Another scene that I liked was them realizing that William Dafoe's character was actually crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah,
and Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, Frederick Harding.
Yeah.
Homeboy, he was skeptical the whole time.
Yes.
But the part that you're talking about where he was like, you have to be kidding. We've been doing this the whole time. My wife's about to die.
Yeah.
And you're a lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do anything with me, for me, except have this lady die.
Yeah.
That's your solution?
Yes.
Get out of my house.
Yep.
Get out of my house.
I think
out of my
Aaron
house.
Taylor Johnson did a really great job with that role. He was good. He was funny.
He did. He was believable.
Yeah. But the scene that I was talking about with the William Dafoe though was the scene where he tricked Thomas, and then who was with them? It was the other doctor that was William Dafoe's apprentice. He tricked them into thinking that Count Orlok was going to be in the cast or in the church. Mm-hmm. And was just
and they killed her in a van.
Yeah, being like, no, the only solution is for her to die. Like, she's going to die. There's nothing that you can do about it. She's going to die. And then he was like, the story of Count Orlok, the prophecy is fulfilled once again, blah, 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 blah. As, like, everything is burning around him. I'm like, you're crazy. You're actually insane. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to talk about Mr. Frederick, however you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yes.
His wife and children die.
Yeah. Awful.
And solution, I'm going to have sex with my wife, and then I'm also going to die of the plague of Count Orlok.
Yes.
Of Nosferatu.
Yes.
He died pants down. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
I mean, I feel like it's also crazy that he's a necrophiliac.
Hey, that's his wife.
I don't care.
That's what he said.
I do not care.
That was me. That was me impersonating him in the afterlife.
Oh, okay.
That's my wife.
I was about to be like, Chanel,
I don't believe
do not care.
I was like, girl, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
He was serious.
You see, I saw online, somebody said that they were watching this movie with their significant other. And the significant other was like, yeah, I do that too. That would be me.
Break up with them.
Run.
Break up with them.
Run.
That's terrifying.
Does that sound like Orlok there?
That's terrifying.
Run.
A little bit, but still, that's terrifying. That's never a solution. No, that's disgusting.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What else you got, Cindy?
I mean, so this is gonna mirror the scene that you said in the beginning with Thomas. The scene with Ellen when she finally dies, and it literally is like Orlok is. I'm pretty sure he's naked, like, and he's just like drinking her blood, and it's the noises and stuff, and he's just drinking and drinking it until the sun rises for him to perish, and he dies on top of her. That was disgusting. That was so disturbed because it was his like bony body. He's like lanky but bony, and he was like, as he was drinking, I'm trying to do the movements right now, but he's moved. It was disgusting. I did not like it.
Disgusting.
It was gross. That scene.
Yes.
Yes. But that would be the last scene for me that kind of stood out was that because it was just gross.
That's it for me as well. So, what are your thoughts overall on the movie, Cinti?
It was boring, if I'm gonna be honest. I feel like it really missed.
Yeah.
It missed the mark, truly.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I was very curious to hear what you said about it because I think I watched it a little bit before you, and you were really excited for this film. And I know as soon as
I really was.
yeah, as soon as Nosferatu was done in my theater, there was people who were like clapping, who were like,
Oh no!
like they clapped, and I was like, oh, this maybe it just missed for me because I'm not like a cult classic type person. I didn't see the original, so I wasn't really like that keen for the remake. And to be honest, if it wasn't for our movie discussion and like the fact that we like to watch movies and talk about them together, I probably would have never watched Nosferatu. And I'm pretty sure when we were like trying to think of movies for the series, I tried multiple times to get Nosferatu like off the list. So I was just really disappointed because I was expecting to be terrified. Like I expected to be really, really scared, and I was just bored. Like the storyline seemed slow, the like dialogue seemed slow. So
yeah. So my thoughts on the movie. First of all, I did a double feature.
Okay.
I watched Nosferatu, and then I watched Babygirl.
Back to back on the same day.
Back to back on the same day. Worst double feature.
Yeah, literally.
It was so bad.
My gosh. I can't believe it was so bad. Happened. I don't know why I didn't realize it was a double feature. I have respect for the actors.
I have respect for the directors. I have respect for the cast and the crew. I swear I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it was the worst double feature I've ever had.
Yeah.
In a very, very, very long time. Very, very, very disappointed. I was hyped up for both of these movies so hard, and it failed me. And I think the main reason this one failed so much for me is one, it has that old timey plot where it's like, I feel like in the modern age we've heard every story that could be ever told ever.
Yes.
And so there's normally some subversion or an interesting setting or something that's like different. And this is just straightforward, same story, nothing extra, nothing. You know what I mean? It needed something interesting,
right,
for me, and I just did not get that. And then for the whole movie, for it to just be Lily Rose Depp's character Ellen going, "Hi, when I was younger, he came to me. He came to me, and I saw him, and we were one. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I love you. I hate you. I hate you." And then Orlok being like, "You must bounce on it. Crazy style." Like the entire film.
I tried really hard. I tried so hard to keep it together. I tried so hard.
That's what the whole movie was. "No, I'm not going to be with you. Wait, maybe I can be with you." "Yes, be with me. Bounce on it, yes." What the hell is going on? It's just like, "Yes, I'll bounce on it. I'll bounce on it." Yes, crazy style.
No, it's actually so insane.
Going on?
Because isn't that okay? So bringing it back to the way where the movie started, right? Because it's seemingly saying history repeats itself every single time Liz or Ellen is reincarnated. That reincarnation ends up with Count Orlok, correct? Because the movie started with Count Orlok being like, "Do you give yourself to me?" And Ellen's like, "I give myself to you." And it's like the scene that opens the film is the scene that ends the film. So my whole thing is this: one, why does it keep happening? And two, why does it keep happening?
And three,
why does it keep happening?
And why were they able to predict this?
Right?
What are the sorcerers who wrote the? Yeah,
you understand what I'm trying to say? Because I'm like, it gives more concept to the idea of reincarnation. That reincarnation is a thing, and that for every single like cycle of reincarnation, there is another Ellen and there's another Count Orlok, right? But every single time, it seems like he seemingly dies. right? Because as soon as he
Yep.
starts drinking Ellen's blood, he's so consumed by her blood that he doesn't pay attention to the sun rising, and then they both die. So that just happens again and again.
It's the prophecy, clearly.
I thought prophecies are supposed to be one and done.
No,
that's crazy. So you're telling me if somebody prophesized that I am to win $1 million, that for every iteration that I'm alive, I shall win $1 million?
Maybe. At least in these stories.
At least, right? Honestly, if somebody could prophesize me making a lot of money, that would be beautiful.
Yeah, you gotta go visit the witches.
No. Actually, I don't need that. Actually, I don't want that brought on my life. I respect the witches, but at the same time, I'm scared of playing into a field that I'm very unaware of what's going to happen.
True.
So I'd like
they're gonna be like, girl, we predict that you must bounce on it crazy style. And you're gonna go, hell no!
Right.
And they're gonna go,
yeah, and it's gonna happen. Or it's like, of course you're gonna get $1 million, but for every like dollar that you achieve, that's like one bone that's gonna be broken, type of thing. And I'm like, I don't have 1 million bones.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I think I'm good. I rebuke anything. Don't wish that upon me, especially because I feel like with a lot of these prophecies, there's always a give and take. Right? Like even showing with like Count Orlok, it's like the prophecy is that you will get Ellen's blood, but you getting Ellen's blood means that you're going to die, right? Mm-hmm. Like you ultimately get what you want, but you only get to enjoy it for such a short period of time, making it like bringing the question, was it really worth it?
Obviously, it was worth it, Cindy. She got that good.
I guess she does have that good.
She's got that good.
I guess she does, because dang. Something to die over, like iteration after iteration, is crazy.
Indeed.
But
alrighty.
Yeah, I don't have anything else that I want to say about the film. How about you?
I ain't got nothing else to give, girl.
Alrighty. Nothing so else. Now let's move on to Humanist Vampire, seeking consenting suicidal person.
Period. Full title.
Yes.
So, just to preface this, I randomly watched this movie on a plane when I was heading to Montreal, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Just randomly decided to put it on, and I was like, that is a good movie. I'm going to get that on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I did. And then I'm like, Cindy has to watch this.
Yep.
And the fact that we have Nosferatu vampire movie.
Yep.
We can add this one.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I was like, she's going to enjoy this. We went through a whole mess getting it over to her.
It finally
came.
Able
to watch it.
And I got it. Yes.
Hallelujah. So, Humanist Vampire seeking consenting suicidal person. Mm-hmm. So, this is a film about a vampire named Sasha. Mm-hmm. She's the daughter in a family of vampires.
Right.
Okay. And basically, she has something wrong with her as a vampire. She feels empathy for humans. Mm-hmm. And so instead of seeing a human and getting hungry, she sees a human and she just feels empathy instead.
Yes.
And so, that's an issue because she can't go out, and when she grows up, she won't be able to feed on human beings because it just, like, the way that it works, when you get hungry as a vampire, your fangs come out.
Yes.
And that's how you can feed on other humans. And so that's just not happening to her.
Right.
She can't get it up. She can't get it out. You know what I mean?
She can't get it up, Chanel.
Hey. And so her mom is really upset with this because she's like, I'm not going to be hunting for all these people. Like, I can't do this anymore. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to ship her off to her cousins. She can stay there, and then she can't come back until she starts feeding.
Yep.
On human beings. And so her father is not about that life. He allows the mom to do what she wants, but he kind of undermines her by giving her, like, here's some blood bags. You can take these.
Yeah.
Like, my daughter, I hope you're okay. Whatever. So then, she's on her own, and she has to learn how to feed, or her family's not going to feed her anymore. So she goes out and about, and she ends up stumbling across her love interest, Paul. Wow. And so she's just interested by him for some reason, and they eventually, I'm gonna skip over some things, but they eventually form a little friendship that turns into a little, romantic vibe. And essentially Paul is suicidal and homegirl's a vampire, and so he's trying to make the proclamation to her, you should just kill me and eat me.
Yes.
Because I want to die anyways. And then
Yeah.
you'll be able to feed and everything will be fine and we'll be good.
Exactly.
And so that is the premise of this movie. Watch it.
Yes. I would like
Period.
to preface to, or like to state, not preface, but you can tell when Chanel likes a movie based on how much detail she gives when she explains it. Because mind you, you watched this movie like September, October of last year.
Yeah.
And I literally recently watched it, and you hit on more details than I feel like I could have, and I just watched this movie.
I like this movie.
This movie was good.
So good.
Yes.
So yeah, band for band, let's go.
Yeah, so I would like to start with the first scene of the film, which was Sasha's birthday party, where
Yes.
at this point, I knew it was called Humanist Vampire, but I didn't know what that meant. Like, vampire can mean a lot of different things when it comes to films, right? And like, it could be used literally or figuratively. So it started with Sasha's birthday party where they had a clown and they were playing with the clown, and then the clown got trapped in the in its case, and it's like a little like trunk or chest, and all of a sudden, Denise, Sasha's cousin, was like, "I'm hungry, let's eat," and I was like, "Oh!" And then their fangs came out and they started to feed. I was like, "Oh, we got right into it." Right? And so it's like that introduction to like the vampires and what they were. And then again, more into that scene of like how integrated vampires were into like society, because they had like a doctor's office that was for vampires. They had like a therapist office that was just for vampires. So it's like vampires are just kind of integrated into society. And at least for me, it kind of made me feel like it's like you don't even know. Like you wouldn't even know who is or is not a vampire based off how easy it is for them to kind of, they look like us. Its only thing is like their fangs, and their fangs only seem to come out when they're hungry. But I like that opening sequence, the introduction of the characters, also the introduction of the issue at hand, and then also that like showcasing that vampires are just, it's like they're almost like everyday people in a sense, where they have their doctors, they have their therapists, they have their jobs and whatnot. So I really like that opening sequence to the movie.
Yes. And for my scene, I love the one where she goes out and she bumps into Paul.
For the first time?
And I think it was the one, what'd you say? Yeah, the first time.
Okay.
And so, he was standing at the top of his bowling alley, like ready to jump.
Yes.
And his coworker comes out. He's like, either jump or come down here and help me with the customers.
That guy sucks.
So,
he sucks.
He sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she was watching him and she was like interested by him, and then later on she kind of like stalks him, and then she like scares him because she's like using her little, like, she can move really fast, and so he's like, oh, what's going on? He ends up running into a tree. I forgot what you call it, like a,
was it?
It was like a tree. Oh, it was a, what do you call those? They put them on ships. It's like a big rectangular.
Oh, the shipping, whatever
storage thing. Yeah, shipping containers, whatever. He runs into one of those, passes out, and then she gets scared because she's like, is he okay?
Yeah.
And so when she gets scared like that, her fangs actually come out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a protective instinct, kind of, whatever. And so she's like, oh, shoot, my fangs came out. And so she ends up running back home. And then she drinks her blood bag all intensely. She's like, that's good. And then her parents come in and they're like,
Your
fangs came in. Oh my God.
That's so exciting.
Like, leave me alone, Mom and Dad. Leave me alone.
Yes.
But yeah, I like that. Drama.
I will say a scene I think that might have happened before was her, it's a small one, but it was her drinking that blood bag. And it's the way that, like, I know her mom was upset because she doesn't get the food and she's just eating all the food. But it's the way that if that was me, just listening to someone like, oh, I made dinner and the person never makes dinner, but they always eat my food. And it's just like them smacking, like, num, 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 num. That would have driven me crazy. So I'm just like vicariously through the mom. Of course, I believe that parents should provide for their children. But in that instance, that also would have made me hot. Because I'm like, why are you smacking? You can eat in silence. Like, you are capable of eating in silence. There's no need to smack like that. So that is a scene for me. Like, that's a tiny one. I think a scene that is bigger that I liked was when she had a move-in with Denise, and Denise was taking her to make her first kill, and they picked up JP from the bar. And then they brought JP back home, and Denise was like, kill him, and Sasha was like, no. And so Denise goes and tries to kill JP, and Sasha holds the horn, alerting everybody that like something is happening.
Yes, in the neighborhood.
Yeah. That was hilarious, because I'm just like, you need to listen to people when they tell you they don't want to do something, because if somebody really doesn't want to do something and they're big enough to be able to do something about it, there's nothing you can do. Like, she's too big. And she's too grown for you to force her to do something. And that is like every single step of the way, especially like that scene specifically is just another instance of like, you can't force people to do what they don't want to do.
Yes. I love the scene where she invites Paul over to her house. And they're like sitting there, and he's, they're trying to have that proposition of you eat me so that I die type vibe. And so, and she's like sitting there, they're both sitting on the bed, and she's like trying to get her fangs out, and she starts like touching her like mouth, and she's like she's closing her eyes, like trying to get in the mood for her fangs to come out. And then he like looks at her and she looks at him, and she like puts her arms down, and she's like, I wasn't doing anything. I thought that was hilarious. And it was giving very like, because vampires represent sex. In media always. And so it was giving like first time trying to make things happen, but you can't get it up. You can't get her fangs out. And so she's like trying, and it's so awkward. It was funny.
It was funny. And also kind of to that point as well, it's like the trying to set the mood, like the scene beforehand. I love that scene. I forgot to go look at the name of that song. When they're both standing there next to her record player, and she's singing and like singing or like not singing, but she's mouthing the words in English and vibing and having a good time. It really felt like they were setting the mood, and they're like having a good time. And I'm just like, part of it is like, this is so sweet, but I'm like, he's preparing to die. Like, she's preparing to kill him, And this whole time, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I adore them as like a pairing, as a couple, because they seem so cute. I don't want him to die, but like, that's the whole, it's the whole premise, right? It's a humanist vampire seeking a consenting suicidal person. Sasha is a humanist vampire, and then Paul is a consenting suicidal person. So is that not what the film is supposed to be about? But I really like that scene.
So cute. So after that, I liked the scene, which I'm kind of skipping through now, because I'm like, there's a good amount of portions, but I'm thinking of the ones that really stood out. So the one where they went to the party, and then they're like confronted by like the bullies afterwards. Yes, that's a good scene. And then like, homeboy pushed her too far. Way too far. One of those bullies pushed her too far, and she snapped. She snapped, and I was like, good for you, girl, but also you couldn't murder the person.
He deserved it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sorry.
He's like 16. Yeah, kill him.
So here's the thing, though. I personally feel like it's self-defense. He was really ready. Like, he wouldn't have killed Paul, but he was ready to beat Paul to an inch of his life. Because the thing is, one of the points that they brought up in the film, that is her fangs only come out in self-defense, and it seemingly only comes out when Paul is getting hurt. And in every instance, her fangs came out. It's like Paul hit his head pretty hard. Like, that could have been a traumatic brain injury. He could have died. And then, like, when Henry was beating him up, like, I feel like there was very much ill intent and like intent to get rid of him. in that instance.
Yep.
So it's not just like you
Yeah.
shouldn't kill a person. You really shouldn't. But at the same time, like when you think of
Should I not?
you shouldn't kill people. If that was a legitimate question, you should not kill people.
Okay,
Because
okay.
we are
Got it.
humans. As human beings, we should not kill other human beings. But now, if we want to get into the fantasy of vampires, they literally, to survive, they have to kill people. So, I think it was a little mixture of the fact that she felt in danger, and I'm homegirl was hungry, like she was starving.
Yep.
So I feel like it was one of those where rationale was out the window, and she let her instincts go. And right after she killed Henry, she literally said to Paul that he needed to leave because I feel like she was so hungry that if Paul stayed any longer,
Yeah,
she
would
would
have continued.
exactly.
Yep.
So that was a good scene. I'm also gonna skip. Actually, a scene that I want to talk about before I skip to the last scene is when she hit Denise with that shovel.
So funny.
It was so deserved because again, literally, you cannot force people to do what they don't want to do. They will find a way around it. She hit her with the shovel, knocked her out, and stole her car.
So funny.
Like,
left her with the dead.
Yes. Like, could you imagine if someone were to find Denise and that body? What would have happened? Denise,
Oh my god,
would have been in
That would've
so
been
much
so bad.
trouble. I wonder if she woke up and like looked around and realized that the car was gone, and then proceeded to finish burying the body before.
Probably.
Ooh, but yeah, that scene with the shovel was hilarious. Hilarious.
Yes.
Do you have any more scenes?
I think just for the ending, I don't want to touch on it too thoroughly.
Okay.
But because it's good, but
Yes.
I don't want to get bogged down in the details.
Yes.
I had that vibe where I was like, is she really gonna kill him?
Yeah, I know.
Is she really gonna kill him? And
I thought she did. I truthfully thought she killed him.
Yeah. They did a good job with the fake out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know, because the title of the movie, he wanted this. It could.
But he wanted
But
to
I'm glad they
turn.
didn't
At
go
the
with
end,
that.
he wanted to turn.
Yes.
But
And so
it was
yeah,
giving
I was
that, like,
is he gonna die or is he gonna turn?
yeah.
We don't know.
Yes. And I think it was because this is her first time turning somebody. I was afraid of, like, the inexperience of, like, she doesn't
gonna
know
go
how
too
far
far.
she needs to go. And so I
Yep.
thought she went a little too far. The last scene that I want to say, and this is not related to the ending, but it's when you find out that GP has turned, and we have acknowledged the fact that, like, Denise and the rest of the family has showed up, even though she called her father for help. And it was the way they were like, we can put a stake in his heart and kill him. And then I'm looking at JP, because in my mind, I was like, you know, whenever you see a vampire movie or a vampire show, they typically pick and choose certain things that they want to keep and not keep. Like, for example, in Twilight, sun doesn't necessarily hurt them. They just sparkle in the sun. Versus other vampires, if they get touched by the sun, they shrivel up and die, right? Like, it will kill them. So I wasn't sure what aspects. Like, I just assumed that once a vampire is alive, they don't really die. And the question was also asked by Paul, like, how do you die? And she's like, myriad of things. Anyway, when they mentioned that they could put a stake in Paul's heart, and then I look over and JP's there sucking blood off of a towel, I'm like, girl, do you like him? Like, Denise, do you like him?
She likes him.
Because he's still alive.
She likes that.
Yeah, it seems like it. So that scene I thought was hilarious. And then also the double standards of her family. The way they were like, you can't keep Paul, but JP, prove that you're a part of this family. Go kill him. I'm like, you accept him, but not Paul? What?
That makes zero sense.
No sense whatsoever. But yeah, I think that for me would be the last scene I enjoyed outside of course, the ending. But
yes,
the ending was good.
The ending was good. Wow.
Yeah. We should leave the ending and for the viewers.
Yeah.
You need to go watch it to see the ending.
Watch it. Go watch the
ending
movie.
was so good.
Go watch it.
Okay.
Don't be rude. Watch it.
So let's move on to themes. What are some themes shared between both these films?
Yes. Vampire. Say it out loud.
Vampire. That's crazy. Vampires. Yeah, that is a theme. I would also say love.
I would say sex.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ew.
I feel like I don't know. I think maybe that's about it. Cause there are
Comedy.
two separate like they do vampire films in two different ways, right? Nosferatu is supposed to be horror, and then Humanist Vampire gave rom-com. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
Nosferatu like accidentally gave comedy. So I feel like
Yes.
outside of the like surface level, as far as vampires, love, lust, sex, whatever, there's not much else I could find similarities between these movies, personally.
None.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, there's so many differences because in Nosferatu, there is no humanity
Right.
in Count Orlok.
Yeah.
He's just a hunger.
Right.
While in this movie, you know, Sasha is very humanistic.
Yes.
And so, two completely different movies.
Right.
Completely
Yes.
and utterly.
Oh, one thing I do want to say though, because I think after this we're probably going to be moving into rankings. Sasha's father is the real MVP. He is the best.
He tried.
He really tried, and he really cared. Like the mother, in every step of the way, tried to force Sasha into doing things that she didn't want, and her father was just like, "I'm not forcing my daughter to be who she doesn't want to be," and like he supported her every single step of the way. Like always showed compassion, right? Because in a scheme of everything, when it came down to the whole like sending her off to Denise, he wasn't even doing it from a perspective of ill intent. I think he was coming from a point of concern of like, how are you going to feed yourself when you get older?
Yeah.
Right? Like, in the sense of like, we're not going to be here forever. Your mom's not going to always be available to hunt. So how are you going to eat when we're not capable of getting you food? And so I feel like he was every single step of the way, he showed concern, even giving her blood bags when she needed it. And then also showing up near the end in some sort of form of support. Her dad is a true MVP, and I literally rock with her dad. So,
Daddy.
Exactly. But yeah, those are my final thoughts.
Period.
So we're ranking.
Ranking time. Oh my god! Another episode. Damn.
I know this one went by pretty fast though for me.
It did.
Okay.
So let me read the ranking, and then I'll let you go ahead and do the honors this time.
Okay.
So
good.
we have Femme, Challengers, Anatomy of a Fall, Past Lives, The Substance, Anora, Wicked, Color Purple, Didi, Girls Will Be Girls, Babygirl, A Different Man, The Last Showgirl, and Nightbitch.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to start first with Nosferatu. Nosferatu, meh movie. Personally, I think it's going to be sitting somewhere, it's below Babygirl, right? For me. And it's somewhere within like the Different Man to Nightbitch range. Part of me wants to put it, it's hard. Before this conversation, I probably would have put Nosferatu below A Different Man. But after this conversation, I think I'd probably put it above A Different Man because it was a funny movie, right? It was enjoyable in the sense that I laughed. But was it a good movie? No.
Yes. And I would say that's exactly where I would have put it, Cinti.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
above A Different Man, because at least it had memes going for it. The memes were kicking on this one, I can't lie.
Yes.
And it was like, I think it would make for a good rewatch if you are ready to. What's the game where you take shots?
Yeah.
When people say things,
Chanel.
It would make for a phenomenal one of those.
Chanel, we have to do that the next time we're together. We have to do that.
We really do, because I think that one would be A1.
It would be A1.
So whenever she has a seizure,
we take a shot
of some sort. Whenever the doctor is saying some nonsense,
we
about
take a
prophecy, shot. We're already dying after that.
Yep.
Every time Count Orlok says something out of pocket, in that low voice. It's
Take
gonna
a
be
shot.
over for us.
You know, we should do it,
It's
and
gonna be
then
over.
we should also try to make like a TikTok or something, or a video of some sort out of it, just to showcase
Of us
it.
completely inebriated.
Of course, it'll be fun. Next time we're together, we'll do it.
We'll do that.
Next
time we'll do that.
yeah,
Because that's gonna be a lot of fun.
It would be. We should write. Somebody needs to write that down because I'm gonna definitely forget. So we should put that when we're done. We should write that down.
Yes.
Okay. So now, humanist vampire seeking a consenting suicidal person. So this may be a point of contention because this film, you told me it was good and I was apprehensive, but as soon as I finished, I called you immediately and said this was such a good film.
Period.
That I think it might be taking a spot in our top 3. I know. So, I would say Femme to me is still top notch. Humanist Vampire was not better than Femme. But I think Humanist Vampire was better than Challengers.
How dare you?
I know.
What about the tennis love connection?
The tennis love connection still deserves top 3. Like, I personally believe that, like, Humanist Vampire, regardless, should be in the top 3. Like, it's definitely way better than Anatomy of the Fall. So it should be up there. But I don't know. I think because I just recently watched Humanist Vampire. Like, I'm pretty sure I finished the film yesterday. So it's very fresh in my mind. And I can more actively recall the scenes of the movie that I like versus Challengers. It's been over a year. I only watched it, I think, once. Like, from beginning to end. And then I, like, seen clips here and there when it's put back on. We, like, recorded an episode about it and discussed it. But there's nothing really tangible that I can pull from my memory of that movie that I feel like trumps the beauty that was Humanist Vampire.
Yeah. So I actually watched Challengers this weekend for the
Oh, you did?
4th time.
Really? What the heck?
We watched it. I watched it before Femme. Watching that one.
Oh,
again.
right. That's right. Yes.
Yes. So, here's the thing. Both of them are very, very good movies. No beautiful gowns. They are amazing.
Right.
More than a beautiful
Of course.
So, yeah, they're definitely both top 3. I would say they both give different things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're 2 different movies. Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person is a rom-com. It's got, I feel like it kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, subverted expectations when it comes to vampire movies. Completely.
Definitely.
And it's just a good time. Challengers, that is a movie that is different in every way. And it's like a sports movie. It's a love movie. It's like a drama. It's all out of order. It's played, you know what I mean? There's like so much to stack on top of each other.
Right.
For the greatness that is that movie. However, I will say, America's Next Top Movie is Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. That is number 2 because it is just simply more fun than Challengers. Yeah, it is simply more fun than Challengers. Challengers, great movie. Nothing wrong with it. It's literally one of like the perfect movies where it's like there's nothing you could really change to make it better. Right. It's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's an intense movie. There's emotion. She loses her dreams. You know what I mean? She's holding up. You know what I mean? It's just which is good.
Yes.
But Humanist Vampire, I could put that on. What? I could probably watch that every week.
Honestly, it was that good.
Like just that chill.
It was that good.
Yes. So that's what I have to do. So
you're in agreement that it
Challenges
place 2.
Yes.
Challengers, as we said in the beginning,
number 3.
That movie deserves top 3, and I will be very surprised if the movies that we have in the other half of the season push it out of the top 3. I think that would be very shocking to me. So I feel like
it would be very, very shocking.
Challengers is safe where it is right now. But
we shall see.
I would like to make a comment though. just a further hit on the fact that award shows, at least American movie award shows, don't mean anything.
Yes.
Because Femme and
Yes.
Humanist Vampire were not nominated for any movie awards in America. And then Challengers wasn't nominated for a Golden Globe or any Oscar, right? But a movie that I know who has gotten awards so far are I know A Different Man,
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan
Best
won
actor.
like Best Actor. I know Anora, Mikey, I think it's Mikey Madison, won a BAFTA, right? So,
oh wow,
I will say, right, that actor wise, that could just be up. We're not talking about like actor performances, even though I can personally say that Femme, the actors who played Preston and Jules literally blew everything out of the water.
Demolished.
None of these films actually won like awards for their movie, but
Yeah.
I personally still think
nothing big, like minor awards for each one.
But they still won awards
like,
over these other
what's going on?
films, you know? And that a point that I'm trying to make is good movies, you need to go find good movies. Like you are not going to be able to find good movies
go find movies
in the award season. So,
it's like a popularity contest but within the industry.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's like, are you sure that movie is the one that was supposed to win, or did they give you the most money?
Right.
Do you know that person?
Uh-huh.
You know her? You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the vibe it's giving, because typically the best movies that come out in a year are not the ones that win awards.
Exactly.
Like that is normally a coincidence, or we got lucky that year.
Exactly. So also I want to add, Chanel, we definitely need to watch the Toronto Film Festival, because I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact, Humanist Vampire was premiered there and it won awards through the Toronto Film Festival. And I'll have to double check, but I think I also saw that Femme was also at the Toronto Film Festival. So we might just need to take ourselves over there. I know for a fact for Humanist Vampire. I don't know for certain for Femme, but yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm glad.
Yeah, we have to go to a film festival.
Oh, we do. 100%. And I feel like we would thoroughly enjoy ourselves. We just need a lot of money, because these film festivals are expensive.
Sundance. Toronto Film Festival.
Honestly, though, I would be more than happy to do a podcast episode of the films that we watched. I think the only concern is that if films are premiered at Sundance, I don't think we could really talk about them on the podcast.
You see, I think you can, because there's people who's like, I got an advance copy, or I was invited to the premiere, and then they give you a whole breakdown.
That's true.
Here's what you should watch.
That's a fair point.
So, who knows? We'll figure out once we're there. So sponsor us,
please.
Tell us what we need to do,
please.
And so we can watch movies.
Please.
In advance. We're waiting.
But all right, sounds good.
Yes.
Great episode.
Oh, okay. This was a great episode.
It was a great episode.
Period.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Is someone knocking on my door? Hello? Open the door. Open the door. I'm filming a podcast right now. Goodbye. Bye. You want to say hi to the podcast?
No, thank you.
Okay, bye.